Okay, once again, hello and welcome back everyone to our subject EAMG 3123 Program Development and Management in Early Childhood Education. And for this week, we will be looking at the units 5, which is staffing the program. Okay, so first things first, let's look at the learning outcome. There's quite a learning outcome for today's topic. Okay, so the first one is for you all to be able to explain the importance of creating a positive work climate and describe ways to motivate staff in early childhood program. Secondly, is for you all to be able to identify and discuss the key components of employment policy. Okay, that support fair, safe, and professionals workplace practice. Thirdly, for you to be able to describe okay, the steps that is involved in an effective hiring process for early childhood educator, including screening, interviewing, and onboarding. Okay, and then analyze. Okay, for the analyze qualities and professional standards required for hiring competent early childhood staff. Okay, and explain strategies for retaining staff and maintaining stability in early childhood programs. And finally, for you to be able to relate okay, Malaysian Act such as Employment Act, Childcare Act, and also OSHA. Okay, um, one that kind of seldom for us to use. Okay, tapi ada okay, OSHA to staffing the program, okay, workplace safety and also employment practice in ECE lah. Okay, so first thing, let's look at positive climate and motivating staff. Okay, so for starters, okay, when we talk about staffing the program, okay, staff are the essential elements for any company. Okay, so especially in early childhood education, it is very important for us, okay, to ensure a high quality education by getting a high quality staff. Okay, therefore effective staffing can involve okay creating a positive work climate, okay, establishing a clear employment policy, hiring qualified educators, and above all is to retain a committed staff. Okay, so as an employer or the HR, okay, understanding this component is very important because future leaders in early childhood setting, okay, you can build a strong motivated teams that support children learning, promote safety and professionalism, and also maintain consistent high quality operation. So for you to have a good operation, quality services, first of all you need to have an effective staffing. Staff is very important lah. Okay, kena ada yang competent. Alright. Now, why staffing matters in early childhood education? Okay, so kenapa pekerja staff okay sangat penting in early childhood education because okay quality staffing equals to quality learning. If you have someone that is competent, who are qualified, therefore you will get a quality outcome. Okay, therefore quality staffing means quality learning. A well-trained, motivated teachers will provide positive experience for children. Okay. Apa tu namanya? When we have a qualified teacher, okay, qualified teacher means that someone who are experienced, who has the right knowledge, okay, who has the right skill and also motivation, okay, then they will be able to deliver what is supposed to be delivered. Okay, then they'll be able to be a good role model, therefore a good outcome for the children. Okay, so teachers ataupun the staff okay, are the one who will shape the emotional climate of your center. If a teacher come to the school with not very warm, okay, the emotion are not very welcoming. Therefore, the climate of the class will be the same as what the teacher feels. However, if the teacher comes to school calm, in a very supportive emotional, in a very good emotional, very supportive uh, what do we say, yeah, then the class will receive the same climate, the same vibe. Alright, so children will learn best in the classroom where teachers are calm, caring, and supportive. If the teacher come to the school always angry, ignorance, therefore the climate in the class will be different. The climate of the class will follow how the teacher bring themselves to the class. Okay, so stable staff will build children security. Imagine if the center have a very high turnover. Okay, center tu selalu bertukar-tukar pekerja. Therefore, the children will not form a strong relationship, will not form any relationship with the teacher if that teacher does not stay long in that school. Okay, so for children to build to form a strong relationship, okay, the teacher must long term teacher lah. Okay, we need to reduce the turnover. Therefore, children will have time to get to know the teachers. Teachers will have ample time to get to know the children. Then only they be able to form a good relationship. Okay. And then for a leader, okay, leaders ensure clear roles and support. Okay? A well-managed team will reduce confusion and build professionalism. Okay, if you become a good leader, okay, then the people apa tu the people under your supervision, okay, will understand their job. Okay, they will have less confusion, they know what they have to do. Okay, then the whole operation can operate smoothly. Okay, so this is briefly why staffing is very very important in not only in early childhood setting, but in any company lah. Okay, so why is a positive work climate? What is a positive work climate? Kan, positive work climate. What is it about? So, a positive work climate, it's an environment, okay, workplace environment that could motivate, okay, the staff. Okay, so a positive workplace climate boosts motivation by making staff feel valued, trusted, and supported. When they come to the workplace, okay, this staff will feel valued. Okay, they will feel valuable. Okay, they feel they're trusted, they feel they are supported. Okay, so how all of this can be happen is through open communication. There is two-way communication between all of the staff. Okay, there is recognition for their hard work. Okay, there is a growth opportunity. They won't sit at the same roles for many years. For example, there's growth of opportunity from teachers to become the head teachers, or the head department to become the manager, or to become the principal. There's a growth opportunity in their work. Okay, and also there's work life balance. Okay, appropriate hours of work, kan, numbers of working days, kan, tak adalah rasa macam bekerja je banyak gitu kan. Tak ada work life balance, there are no time for personal matters and so on. Okay, so when you come to work, okay, you still have time for your own life, for your own family. Means that you have a work life balance lah. Okay, and on top of that, empathic leadership. Okay, seorang ketua yang ada empathy. Okay, seorang ketua yang could lead you to high engagement, productivity, and also loyalty, while at the same time be able to reduce stress and turnover. Okay, so positive work climate adalah satu tempat kerja yang mempunyai aura yang positif, yang boleh menaikkan motivasi anda, yang boleh menggalakkan anda datang ke ke kerja, okay, ke tempat kerja bersama dengan leader, okay, leader yang boleh lead the company properly while at the same time, okay, to retain the staff, okay. Simpan pekerja tu supaya pekerja tu tak bersilih ganti lah. Okay, so that is a positive work climate. Okay, tempat kerja yang positif lah basically. Okay, now which of the following best describe a positive work climate? Which one do you think is the best to describe a positive work climate? Okay, so you all can try on your own slide, right? Is it strict rules with no flexibility? Or is it staff feel respected, supported, and valued? Or staff work independently with no communication? Or maybe staff are motivated only by high salary? Okay, so yes, staff feel respected, supported, and valued. Right? So itu adalah contoh positive work climate. So why is it important to have a positive work climate? Okay, now remember, okay, good staff, quality learning. Therefore, by having positive work climate can produce a good staff lah. Okay, staff will feel respected and valued. So when they feel respected and valued, okay, they will give a good outcome. Yeah. So leaders acknowledge all contribution and treat everyone fairly. There shouldn't be bias. Okay, there shouldn't be any ignorance and so on. Now, okay, leaders need to acknowledge the staff contribution, okay, and treat everyone fairly. Can if they do wrong, okay, it should applies to everyone. Okay, so all rules and regulation should applies to everyone. Contohnya lah, seorang ni buat salah, tak apa, can close eyes. The other one buat salah, you give them all sorts of punishment contohnya, kan? So it is very important, okay, because it will make the staff feel respected and valued. Okay, so when they feel respected and valued, okay, their motivation will increase. Okay, not only that, when you have a positive work climate, it could increase the in terms of communication. You will have a clear communication. Okay, you'll be able to communicate with the staff. Staff won't ignore or try to avoid you. Okay, staff know what is the expectation and important information. Okay, if you don't have a good relationship, might probably some ignorance or avoidance could happen lah. Okay, also safe, inclusive, and friendly environment. You would want to come to a workplace whereby you feel safe. Okay, you feel safe. You feel included, okay, and you want to have a good working workmate, isn't it? Kita pun tak suka datang tempat kerja and all the workmate like you know, berpuak-puak, contohnya lah kan. So when we have a positive work climate, okay, it can make the staff to feel safe, inclusive, and friendly environment. Therefore, staff will feel comfortable to share their ideas or any concern, if there is any concern regarding to the workplace or to the children. Okay, and of all, okay, of all of that, of course, it helps to lower the stress and better teamwork. Okay, positive climates will reduce any burnout because there is a balance of everything. Okay, so it will reduce the burnout and increase collaboration because there are everyone feel respected, everyone feel valued. Therefore, it creates a teamwork. Can it creates a teamwork among the staff. Okay, when there is a teamwork, operation gets smooth, right? So, what can you do, okay, to motivate staff? These are some of the strategies that you can apply. All right. So, first one, you can give recognition and appreciation. All right. So, whatever the staff do, don't close eyes. Right. It's their hard work. Therefore, we may give a social recognition, a social reward lah. Okay. Contohnya, a simple praise. Okay. thank them, okay, even a simple thank you, so apa, even a simple thank you, okay, can boost the motivation of the staff. Means that um, they know that they're being acknowledged. They know that their hard work are being noticed. Okay, so a simple social reward such as praises and thank you, okay, can increase their motivation. Now, not everything should go from top to bottom. Sometimes we need to give autonomy for the teacher to make choices, to make decision for their work. Okay, for example, give them the autonomy, the permission, okay, to make choices how they want to decorate the class or how they want to deliver the lesson and so on. Okay, give autonomy. If everything is so rigid, it could increase the stress among the staff. Okay, now, among recognition and appreciation, professional development also can motivate your staff. Professional development, such as a workshop, send them to training, okay, then it can make them feel valued, can help them to grow because in a way you are telling them that they are qualified to receive this training. Okay, so they feel valued. Okay, when they feel valued, they feel motivated. Okay, now whenever you want to give a workload, make sure the workload are fair among the staff. Okay, it can't be that seorang dapat lebih, seorang dapat kurang. It should be fair lah to everyone. Okay, everyone should get more or less the same workload. Okay, avoid overworking teacher. When you overwork the teacher, this is the very beginning where the stress and burnout will happen. Okay, now although you are the leader, you are to lead. All right, so provide help when is needed. Okay, there's no um apa namanya, just order instruction is no longer relevant nowadays. We as the leaders, we also need to provide help whenever needed. We can't be expect everyone to know every single thing. Okay, so we as the leader, that is our very that is our function lah. Okay, that is our responsibility. Okay, to not only to lead but also to provide help. Okay, now encourage teamwork. Okay, how by organizing team meetings, okay, and shared planning will improve cooperation. Now, sometimes when you sit at the top management, there are some things that happen on the operation level that we might overlook. Therefore, okay, team meetings and shared planning, it should be shared among the staff as well. Okay, therefore we will have a different perspective from both level. Okay, either from the management level or from the operation level. So when we have this, when we have both of this perspective, it could help us to improve, okay, not only cooperation but also the operation. Okay, follow, okay, another thing is to follow any related Malaysian acts, especially the employment acts. Okay, so in employment acts, it's already stated what are the working hours, working condition, rest day, leave, all the entitlement lah. Okay, so when we give our staff whatever, it's on their rights. Okay, when we give them whatever they're entitled to, it is also could help to motivate them. Okay, they're entitled to have how many rest day, then we give them. Okay, they feel valued. Okay, then this will motivate the staff. Right. Don't forget, we also have Occupational Safety and Health Act, which is OSHA. Okay, which it requires safe working environment lah. Okay, so these are some of the strategy or the steps that you could take. Okay, that in a way not only will smoothen out your operation, but also at the same time could help to motivate your staff. Okay, now that you already have the staff, you know how to motivate your staff. Okay, how are you going to manage the staff? So, in order to do that, you need to design an employment policy. Okay, you need to have an employment policy. Okay, so why is employment policy are important? First, okay, to ensure fairness and consistency. Okay, when you have your employment policy, all staff will know what to expect, what they have to do. Okay, so by having this, all staff will follow the same rules and expectation. They know what are the do's and don'ts. Okay, so you have this policy, they know what to expect, they know what are to do, what are not to do. Okay, by having this also, it can help to protect both employer and employees' rights. Okay, so usually policies will come in the handouts. Okay, it's a handouts. Something that we can see, we can read lah. So a clear policies can help to prevent any misunderstanding or conflict. Should we have any conflict, we have one particular document that we could go back and refer to. Okay, so having clear policy can help to prevent any misunderstanding because you know what are the do's and don'ts. All right, and staff understand the expectation because usually in the employment policies, okay, it sets everything from A to Z, how what is your working hours, okay, what is your entitlement, what you should not do. Okay, so policy will guide professionalism and daily practices. Okay, of course in employment policies, okay, uh, it needs must, okay, follow all the legal requirements. So what is the legal requirement? Everything that is stated under the act, employment act, childcare act, OSHA act, and so on. Okay, needs to follow, must follow. Okay, policy must follow labor laws and childcare regulation. Okay, so employment policies, okay, if you are, doesn't matter you are workers or you are the employers, okay, you should get this during the first, at least the first week of your employment lah. Okay, so key employment policy component, what are the things you should have in the employment policy? Yeah, this is some are not limited to, okay, your job description. Okay, the job description should clarify what are the roles, what are their responsibility, and what are their expected tasks. Okay, on top of that, of course, the working hours. Okay, pukul berapa sampai pukul berapa, working hours including their rest time lah, pukul berapa sampai pukul berapa kan, their leave entitlement, usually according to the act, it will follow your years of working. Okay, setahun dapat berapa, lebih 2 tahun dapat berapa, and so on lah. Okay, leave attendance rules, you must sign in by what time and what time, and so on. Okay, so this will prevent any confusion. Okay, of course, it should align with the Employment Act lah. Okay, another thing in the employment policy is the code of conduct. Code of conduct including the guide for your behavior, what you shouldn't do. Okay, what you should and shouldn't do. Okay, you shouldn't be spreading any false stories. Okay, contohnya, okay, you shouldn't fight among each other, contohnya. Okay, what a dress code in terms of communication and professional standard. Okay, also safety responsibility. Okay, staff must follow childcare safety procedure. Every childcare will have their own safety procedure. Okay, and compensation and performance review. Right, compensation. You need to explain the salary, increment if there is, bonuses if there is. Okay, and how are you going to evaluate them, the KPI by the end of the year lah. Okay, of course, all of this it needs to follow, okay, with the Malaysian Acts lah. Kita punya Malaysian Acts such as Employment Acts, okay, and also Childcare Acts. So, which act ensure fair working hours, leave, and contract in Malaysia? Yeah, right. So you can answer in your own slide. Now that we know what positive working climate, okay, how to motivate staff, and then how to create policy, okay. How now? Let's look at how are we going to get the staff itself, all right? So next topic is the hiring process. So, in hiring process also there are steps suggested for you to follow in order to hire a staff lah. Okay. So, first things first, you need to determine the needs of the staff. Adakah kita memerlukan atau tidak? Okay. So, kalau perlu, berapa ramai you perlukan? Okay. Untuk apa diperlukan? You need to identify the staffing needs. Okay. Determine the number of teacher needed based on the enrollment. We know that every center, okay, every group of age, they have their own ratio. Okay, if you have three babies, means that you need to have one teacher. You have six babies, mean you need to have two teachers. Okay, so you identify the staffing needs, determine the number of teacher needed based on the enrollment. Okay, now that you know how many staff you need, you prepare the job advertisement. Okay, you advertise lah jawatan kosong gitu kan, to wherever you think is appropriate. Okay, when you prepare your job advertisement, don't forget to include what are the required qualification. Okay, remember for kindergarten teacher, okay, the minimum requirement is the diploma, kan? Diploma in early childhood education. For tadika, the minimum requirement is to have SPM as well as the KFP training. Okay, so you include the qualification, what are their duties, working hours, and probably you can also include what are the salary range. Okay, so it increase the chances of you to get the candidates lah. Okay, now that you have the candidates, okay, ada 10 candidates or 100 candidates, okay, which is very rare to happen. Okay, so katakan ada 10 candidates. What you have to do? Okay, you shortlist the candidates. Okay, pertamanya you shortlist dulu, tengok who meet the minimum requirement. Kalau you cari untuk cikgu tadika, okay, then you might want to see who has diploma in early childhood education. So you tengok kalau daripada you punya uh, apa tu candidates tu kan daripada 10 orang, tengok tapis siapa memenuhi the requirement of diploma in early childhood education. So kalau tak ada diploma early childhood education, uh, sorry terpaksa ditolak, tapi maka tinggallah berapa? Okay, katakanlah tinggallah 5. Okay, so daripada 5 orang yang memenuhi you punya minimum requirement, okay, so what next? How could you select the correct candidates? You will conduct an interview. Okay, so daripada interview ni lah, you be able to evaluate their personality. Kan? Dekat dalam dia punya resume cantik. Okay, high pointers with a lot of experiences. Contohnya kan? Alright, but then when it comes to interview, not really as warm as you expected. Okay, if they're not warm, not really welcoming, how are they going to work with children? Okay, so you need to evaluate their personality. Okay, kalau tak si saya sekarang yang baru dah ada keluar medical checklist untuk PKD kan, dah keluarkan medical checklist. Okay, one of it, they need to evaluate the psychological part, something macam tu lah. Okay, so we need to evaluate their personality in terms of communication. How are they able to communicate? Kan, because teachers need to communicate with the parents, with their with the other staff, with the children. Therefore, they need to be able to communicate. Okay, so this is the time where you can evaluate in terms of their soft skill, okay, their personality, communication, and child-related knowledge lah. Okay, and then after that, okay, usually in resume, okay, they will include some references. Okay, so how can you validate that any information that is shared to you is genuine? How would you know? Okay, so one way is by doing references. Check up cross reference. You may call the person that they stated in their resume, okay, to check, to validate the candidates past performance. Okay, betul ke dia kerja kat sana 10 tahun, contohnya lah, kan, betul ke dia um, holding this role lah, contohnya, kan. You can ask all sorts of whatever question you want to ask lah, to validate the information. Okay, because we want to know the candidates reliability. Adakah dia seorang yang reliable, boleh percaya ke tidak? Okay, so ini adalah langkah-langkahnya. Okay, so there are 5 steps. Okay, identify the needs first, then you prepare advertisement, okay, screen application, conduct interview, then check references. Then after that, then you can come to your conclusion. Siapakah pilihan hati? Okay. Now, what are the qualities for you to look for in ECE staff? Okay. We know that in early childhood education, they will be working with children. Therefore, you definitely want to find someone who is warm, passion, and also child-centered. Okay, so kalau tak ada kesabaran, tak boleh bekerja dengan kanak-kanak. Okay, so they need to have the ability to care for young children with empathy. This is a very, very crucial skill. Okay, on top of that, of course, they need to have the correct knowledge of child development. If they don't have the correct knowledge, therefore they won't be able to handle and to teach the children correctly, appropriately. Okay, they need to understand the milestone, the age appropriate practice, then only they could deliver a quality services. Okay, now again, good communication skill, right? It is very, very important for working with children, parents, and colleagues, because this is not a job for them to work alone. Okay, this is a job that includes people. They need to communicate with people. Therefore, a good communication skill is very, very important. Okay, team player. Okay, again, all right, they be able to work collaboratively and support the team. Okay, working in early childhood setting needs to be a good teamwork. You need to be a good team player because you are not working alone. You definitely will need the help of other people. Okay, so you want to find someone who has the qualities of team player, and of course finally should be professional and ethical. Okay, excuse me. So this is the suggestion but not limited to. Okay, there could be other qualities that you would want to have as well. Maybe boleh memasak, contohnya, kan. Boleh apa lagi, so any qualities that you think is relevant for the needs of your center lah. Okay, so what is the first step in the hiring process? Anyone can remember? Okay, so you, okay, identify the staffing needs. Yes, correct. Okay, now that you already have your staff, okay, you already what is called hire your staff, how would you retain the staff? Remember, our objective is to reduce apa, turnover. Okay, turnover means that pekerja yang berganti-ganti. Okay, so we would want to retain the staff. Okay, so what you should do to retain the staff? Okay, why? Why must we retain the staff? Okay, so you need to be aware that turnover cost is high. Okay, we want to reduce the turnover cost because hiring and training new staff is expensive. Okay, you hire new staff and then you need to give them new uniform, new trainings. Yeah, trainings not one or two. There's a lot of trainings, right? So all of that is a cost. Cost is not only about monetary, but also time. Okay, so all of that will consume you a lot. Therefore, we want to reduce the cost. Then it's important for us to retain the staff. Okay, and also stability for the children. We relate this to Bowlby theory. Okay, children who has a good relationship, a good bonding with their caretaker are the children who are stable and independence. Okay, anak-anak yang stabil emosinya, ada good relationship, are the one who are much easy to learn. Okay, anak-anak yang ada good relationship adalah anak-anak yang stabil lah. Okay, so stability it enables to create stability for children. Okay, children will feel safe when familiar teachers stay. Okay, so every time new teacher masuk, nangis. Okay, and then every other month new teacher masuk, nangis. Okay, it's stranger after stranger. Yeah, so it won't create stability for the children. If that child keep on crying, how would they learn? They're unable to learn. Okay, sebab tak kenal. Okay, now build strong school culture. Okay, long-term staff can help us maintain the program value. They know what we try to achieve. Um, they know the children. Okay, therefore they can help us to maintain the program values. Okay, new staff will have to learn all over again. You need to teach all over again. Might probably, okay, the program value will be hard to achieve. Okay, and then finally, to improve program quality, yeah, experienced staff can provide more consistent teaching because they have the experience lah. They know the children, they know the method, they know our value. Therefore, it can increase or maintain our program quality. Okay. Therefore, it is very, very important to have the right staff, quality staff to stay in your program or in your company lah. Okay. However, it should be the right staff. Remember the right staff. Okay. Kalau everyone keep resigning because of this one particular staff who has stayed in your company for a long time, might probably you would want to reconsider. Okay, what is the reason other staff keep on leaving? Okay. So jangan kerana dia staff dah lama, so saya nak buang. Tapi kalau dia adalah cancer, should you sayang? Okay, so you will want to reevaluate your decision. Okay, so another strategies to retain staff, of course, okay, same as I mentioned just now, okay, you provide training, career growth. Okay, kalau dia nampak the path, the career path, okay, the career growth path, okay, there are probability for them to stay longer. Okay, kalau dia tak nampak pun dia boleh being promoted, dia tak ada tanda-tanda boleh dipromote, boleh naik pangkat. Okay, most probably they will find that opportunity elsewhere. Okay, therefore staff will stay longer if they see there is a development opportunities. Okay, now we work to survive, isn't it? Therefore, provide a competitive salary and benefit. Okay, if your salary is not competitive, other places is offering much higher, there are chances that the staff will leave. Okay, not only about the salary but also the benefit. Okay, fair pay will reduce the turnover. Okay, now remember, staff are not working alone, they work with other members, okay, including the leadership. Okay, so be a supportive leadership lah. Leaders who listen and help staff uh, and help will reduce staff burnout. Okay, kena work together, kena teamwork. Okay, then only you can reduce the staff burnout. Okay, once staff feel burnout, itulah tanda-tanda awal. Okay, staff will leave, right? Uh, Another way, okay, provide team building and appreciation event. Okay, boost their morale and strengthen relationship. When they form relationship among them, okay, the chances of them leaving is low. Okay, because they love each other, so they will feel reluctant to leave each other. Okay, and also mentoring for new staff. Okay, help new teachers to adjust and reduce a little turnover lah. Okay, jangan biarkan new staff terkapai-kapai, tak tahu nak buat apa, nobody to help them, they feel isolated. Okay, my probably they will leave. Okay, so you help new teachers to adjust, and then it help to avoid or reduce early turnover lah. Okay, tak adalah baru kerja seminggu, lepas tu resign. Okay, and of course, follow all related acts. Okay, the latest act is the minimum wages order. Okay, which is ensure all staff receive fair wage lah. Okay, on top of that kita ada EPF dan SOCSO Act juga, which is a part of the staff security and benefit lah. Okay, these are some of the strategies but not limited to apa tu cadangan. Okay, suggestion. Okay, how can you return the staff? Alright, now, right, another another question to recap your understanding. Okay, a key strategies to retain a staff is, okay, what are the key strategies? Is it giving them additional unpaid duties? Okay, is it ignoring the opinion, or recognizing the achievement, or reducing communication? Okay, which one you think it is? Right, so you can answer in your slide. Okay, so that's all about our topic for this unit. Okay, so that will be all for our topic today. Until we meet again on the next unit. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum.